When I saw my grandfather's tools out on the ranch, I couldn't take it anymore. This story of betrayal happened in the interior of Texas, more precisely in a city near Austin. This story offers a different perspective from the others. I ask that you subscribe to the channel and listen carefully to every detail. You are on the portal of the sovereign without mystery. My name is Ashley. I am 26 years old, and I have been married for 5 years to my husband, Ryan, who is 32. I come from a family with good financial conditions. My grandfather, William, is 58 and owns many ranches in our region. In addition, he closed many cattle sales in the region, managing to accumulate a good amount of money. As he was a very generous man, he helped my father and always gave me everything. I needed absolutely everything: clothes, trips. He never denied me anything. However, I never imagined that one day I would experience a very unexpected moment in my life, which you will understand step by step in this story. On the day I got married, my grandfather had given me more than $20,000 to throw the party, and he didn't even let my father pay for anything. I had a lot of affection and consideration for my grandfather. I was his only granddaughter, so he always wanted to make me happy with a little money here and there. I remember that my grandfather often lamented my grandmother's infidelity. To give you an idea, he did everything for her. She didn't even need to work and stayed home all day. And my grandfather, William, didn't have time to pay attention to her because he was always out of the house doing new business and only came back to sleep. That's what led him to discover my grandmother with another man inside the house, specifically in the same bed where they both slept. That affected him for a long time. I would sometimes see him on Sundays sitting in a rocking chair reflecting on life. William, despite his age, was well preserved, and even so he didn't look for anyone. He just wanted to focus on work. And I would never have imagined that something would happen the day after something happened in my house. My husband, Ryan, had let our relationship cool down to such an extent that I didn't even want to make an effort to revive it. It was as if I was exhausted too. He was a supervisor at a telephone company and earned a reasonable salary. I worked as a security technician at a company a little far from our region, and I was extremely exhausted from the routine of going to work far from home. It was wearing me down a lot. The tiredness, the lack of attention at home, everything seemed to conspire against me. Until one Friday night, after a week full of problems and a desire to have some time with my husband, I went up to him and said, "We could do something different today, a special moment for both of us." At that moment, I was already dressed in perfect lace lingerie, to the point that anyone who saw me would compliment me. My husband just looks at me and says, "I'm really tired, let's leave this for another day. I had a busy day at work and I have to be there again tomorrow, Saturday." Look at this situation. I turned away without even answering and went to sleep. When I woke up, he didn't even say good morning to me. He simply went to work without saying goodbye. And to make matters worse, he called me saying that he had to travel for the company at the last minute, something so strange that I never imagined it would happen. My husband traveled on Saturday at the last minute, when in all these years he had never had to do that. If it was true, or if he traveled, I don't know. I just know that I lacked affection that day. So I had to find a way to enjoy it alone. Instead of going out with some friends and doing something that didn't please him, I preferred to go visit my grandfather at his ranch at night. Talking and listening to him was a way of spending time with someone who had always been present in my life. When I arrived there by surprise, my grandfather greeted me with surprise, but with great joy on his face, and asked me what I thought about listening to music and having a drink, so that we could spend that night laughing and telling stories about his life. My grandfather took his pickup truck and quickly went to a nearby grocery store and brought the best drinks, not caring about the price, but about my happiness. We talked for hours, and I was already very happy and sad. I started to vent. "You know, Grandpa, I've never been one to talk about these things, but I miss my husband Ryan a lot at home. I'm tired and I don't know what to do anymore. I really want to leave home." And he answered me slightly sober. "Ashley, I understand your situation very well, and I want to remind you of the moment I went through and that I regret to this day, your grandmother's betrayal by another man. But I understand. I understand. I lived far away. I only cared about pleasing her, and I never got the same feelings. Life has these things, and she was a woman who was doing well for her 43 years. But I never imagined that I would have to witness that scene inside my house, he said with his head down. I am very grateful for everything you have done for me until today. My joy is incomparable. I don't even know how to repay you for all the love and care you have for me, I replied, resting my head on his shoulders, far from my conscience. Suddenly, after a few minutes, I noticed a different volume in his member, and I remained quiet. I understood that it had been a while since my grandfather had spoken to anyone. I let it go and continued to calmly enjoy the moment that night on the ranch's porch. That was when he put his hands close to his member, and since my mind was already far away out of curiosity, I wanted to check the size with my own hands. To my surprise, it was something I had never seen in my life. How could a man that age have a member that was 24 centimeters long? William couldn't resist, and neither could I. I exposed that member and began to use it with great desire. Even I didn't understand the energy of a countryman. I was very satisfied that day and allowed everything. Once undressed, I allowed him to use his penis in both entrances for his pleasure. I hadn't fully thought about what I had done. I only know that it was a moment of great pleasure. After spending that night, I felt good the next morning, and after a few hours, I came back to reality, something I shouldn't have done, but that I really needed. I found myself returning a favor to my grandfather. I prepared a special lunch for him and then left. When I got home late in the afternoon, I stayed alone and felt bad for a long time. My husband continued to behave the same way, but with that level of awareness, I realized that I shouldn't be unfaithful anymore. I know that many will criticize my decisions, where I reached such a low level, but I don't care. I needed to share this story that I hope everyone will understand. Did you like this story? So, leave a comment telling us what you thought, and if you've ever experienced something similar, share it with us. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell so you don't miss any new content. Here, we always bring life stories, reflections, and real experiences, all with great sincerity. Thank you for watching until the end and for being part of this journey. See you in the next video.